I know, and we see these things coming so far out now. This is 4 or more days out, and actually the timing for an eventual Gulf Coast landfall is pushed back now to Friday night, maybe even early Saturday. So it's just barely Tuesday morning, of course. We have a few days to go until we get this, first of all, into the Gulf, which may happen tomorrow in the second part of the day, but then eventually toward the Gulf Coast. So the big thing with Delta this morning is, of course, that it has become a Category 2 storm, and its winds jumped up from early this morning at 100 miles per hour to now 110 miles per hour for the maximum sustained winds. So it is not far, in fact, just 1 mile per hour short if you look at the exact mile per hour categories for the Saffir-Simpson wind scale, almost becoming a Category 3. So it is just short of that now. That'll probably happen later on today. And note the 3s and the 4s expected, the Categories 3 and 4 for its intensity over the next few days. Now, intensity can fluctuate, it can change, but at this point, the maximum winds from the National Hurricane Center's forecast are set at 130 miles per hour. That is the upper range for how strong it might get. That would be a Category 4. And then, of course, the big thing also that we're watching, that's kind of changed today, a higher intensity for that. The other thing that we're watching that actually really hasn't changed much is the big area of uncertainty from East Texas, extreme East Texas, all the way to Louisiana, and including the parts of the Gulf Coast all the way to the Florida Panhandle. Here are the computer models just to give you a look at the spread and look at some of these which are trending a little farther to the west. So that's been a development today. A lot of them are clustered right now right over the south central Louisiana coast. But let me show you a couple of the models. The GFS model, first of all, I have it paused here, Saturday 3 a.m. So landfall, instead of we were thinking maybe early Friday, it might get pushed back to maybe Friday night or early Saturday. And note that the center of the low here is way over almost to where Hurricane Laura made landfall near the Louisiana-Texas state line. Now look at the European model, which I'll jump to now. It has a similar solution this morning. Now these will jump back and forth, I think, because the system's still in the Caribbean and we don't know exactly how much these steering currents are going to play a role. That is kind of normal. 3-4 days out, we don't know exactly when the trough will build in or how far south. There are some fluctuations that typically happen with any forecast in that frame. So the big things will be the high pressure directing it to the northwest. And you saw there pretty strong high pressure building in and taking it almost toward the Texas coast with both the European and the GFS. So just something to kind of note this morning that we're seeing with that trend. And then the trough of low pressure, which will be responsible for turning it to the north and northeast. So those two factors plus Gamma's role. Gamma's a post-tropical system now, but there's still some low pressure near Yucatan. We will see how that exerts its influence over Delta when Delta comes barreling that way later today and tonight. So in New Orleans today, clouds, we have a slight chance for some showers, and we actually have a couple of showers right along the coast even right now. Tomorrow looks quiet too, but the impacts are going to be hugely dependent on where it makes landfall, which I just showed you could be in a wide range of areas still. So still some uncertainty for sure there.